Off top, who do you think is leading the NFL in touches right now? I was looking up touches, trying to figure out, who the all-time leader in touches is? You might be able to guess it if you thought really hard. It's not who you think. Anyway, play music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
Welcome to the Domonique Foxworth Show. I'm joined by Charlie Kravitz and the great Mina Kimes, as we normally are this time of week. But I don't know why I was obsessed with this a few minutes ago. But you know that Larry Johnson has the record for touches in a season.
Okay.
Yeah. But the all-time leader is Frank Gore, which it doesn't come to mind right away, but then when you're like, oh, yeah.
That was one of my two guesses. It was either going to be Curtis Martin or Frank Gore were going to be my two guesses.
Nice.
Because it had to be someone who also, when they threw the ball a little bit, was still a bell cow back. So you could eat into that target share also.
And right now, do you want to guess who is leading?
Bijan.
CMC.
This season?
Nailed
over
it.
Bijan?
Yep. CMC is leading it. Way
right
to go,
again.
Mina. We have a good show. You know why I asked that question? I just asked that question because I knew Mina would figure it out and I'd get her in a good mood for the show.
I was already in a good mood. I told you that.
Well, I didn't know that before I got here. I was like, I don't know. I know how to turn that smile upside down.
With the weight.
Give her something to win at. Give Mina a quick dub. But
Don't
not too
parent
easy, so
me.
it's
I was about
Don't-
to say,
I know these tricks now. I have a 2-year-old.
You're stealing defeat from the jaws of victory by explaining your parenting.
Nah, man, we're open and honest here about our relationship in parenting or not. But anyway, good job, Mina. You're so smart. You got that right. You know so much about ball. It's amazing. Could you teach me more about ball, please?
I will try. Let's get started.
All right. So, what game? What's your good game of the week, Mina?
This might not have been a great choice for a good game because of one of the sides of the ball, but I am legitimately fascinated to see what it looks like when Jalen Hurts and the struggling Eagles offense go up against Brian Flores and the Vikings defense, right? Because all of the things that have given Jalen Hurts trouble this season, the fire zones, the sims, are the things that Brian Flores perhaps does better than any coach in the NFL. The Eagles are coming off of a bye, is it a bye or a long week?
It was a long week.
It's a long week. Sorry, feels like a bye.
On Thursday night, yeah.
They got on Thursday night. Sorry, a long week. So they've had all week to stew in this, to try to fix it. I think there are things in Minnesota that they can attack and go after, but I want to see it because it doesn't feel like if the offense doesn't look better this week, we might see some pretty dramatic moves.
One of the things that I'm really interested in seeing is how if the Eagles decide to attack the middle of the field through the passing game. I think, don't laugh at me. I think that you have to be able to challenge all over the field, especially against a defense like this that's like heavy disguise and not even necessarily going to compromise themselves because they aren't. Although they will blitz a lot, they aren't blitzing as much as like the stereotype of the Vikings defense is, or at least they were last year. And that's, to me, when you attack, you're able to attack all areas. There are some things that they have to take out of the playbook. And that's one thing that they are not forcing anyone to do is to adjust to them. And last year was their running attack, obviously, that forced everyone to adjust and compromise themselves to them. Right now, there's nothing that... There are scary people on that offense, but there's nothing scary about it. It kind of goes back to like the cliche of like having an identity. It's like I think that's probably the more literal version of saying we don't know what your identity is. It's like, what are we scared of? What do we know we have to stop? And it's nothing for them right now, which is pretty scary for the Eagles, especially going up against this defense.
I did the laugh, which my 2-year-old, I'm teaching him about Halloween by teaching him, we do a spooky laugh. So he wakes up and he goes, ho, 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 when he sees me. So that's why I laughed that weird way. So I laughed though, because guess where the Eagles rank league wide in throwing between the numbers?
I would guess 32.
32, baby. To your point, like they do have something to be scared of. You're scared of these receivers in man coverage, but you don't have to play man coverage against this team, right? So that's the problem. I think what was really important in this game for Philadelphia, and again, I really want to see this Vikings defense is very good. They've not been good against the run. this year. They're 24th in success rate against the ground on the ground, and over the last 2 weeks they've gotten run on by like Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Some of that I think has to do with the absence of Blake Cashman, their middle linebacker, who I believe is going to be back for this game. But for me, that's like where this all starts with Philadelphia. You gotta find a way to run the football. You don't have to be the best rushing attack in football anymore, but you gotta be better than below average, which is where they are right now. And I think it's a really challenging problem because they've just been like kind of doing what they've done in the past and it's not working. But it feels like that's, to me, Domonique and Charlie, that's like where reinvention has to happen for this offense.
And worth noting that Saquon Barkley is being contacted behind the line of scrimmage on 35.8% of his carries, which is second most in the NFL and also most of his career. And we look back at some of those Giants offensive lines and running attacks as being like horrible. Like the line was what held him back. And this is the most vaunted line in the league, and it is not doing that. Or I guess it was coming into the season before injuries.
I mean, the scary thing for any Eagles fans is that it's so bad. It's not like mediocre.
Yeah.
It's not like, but yeah, we're not as great as we were. It's like it's falling off of a cliff. So like the level of improvement that's required, and that's the conversation that I think smart Eagles fans are having and are aware of, but it feels like I find myself yelling with people who just look at wins and losses every week about like, no, actually, and then it puts you in this weird position where it feels like you're being a hater when I'm like, no, I think anyone who's watching this game and cares about this team recognizes that the issues that they have are they're not non-existent and they aren't an easy solve.
Well, it's also like, look, it's so funny because like you win a Super Bowl and you dominate Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Now we're just getting into fodder and narratives, but it actually frames the way that we've been like dancing around the issues. Is like a lot of it comes down to the way that Jalen Hurts operates the offense. And we saw him outplay Patrick Mahomes in one Super Bowl, play him to a draw essentially in another Super Bowl. And you expect to step forward when this offense is this loaded. He's still very good at throwing the ball outside the numbers. He's still very good in the power running game at the goal line. But when you see the limitations and you see the inconsistency and you see the bad vibes, you don't want to be a hater who's like, this quarterback's not a complete product, because the things that he does well were very valuable on their Super Bowl team. But when things get stickier like this season, his warts seem to come to the surface where they are not attacking the middle of the field or not able to generate some of the stuff that they want to do.
I don't want to be in reruns, so I think we can get off of this because I think this has been a narrative for the whole season for the Eagles. But I think specifically watching their O-line kind of not be productive is the real answer to the question, what's wrong with this team? It's not that Jalen Hurts is taking some sort of step back.
No.
It's that the best player on their team was their offensive line. And now it's no longer the timing of their outside and inside zone is off and it's not working.
For the record, that was just a way more articulate way of saying what I was saying, which is that like the things aren't working as well and you expect Jalen to take a step forward to fix some of those things, and that's not there.
Yeah, it's part of it, right, Domonique? But like, I think it's you're right. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a worse quarterback. I think though he is a quarterback who requires like specific things, and those things are not bolstering him in the same way. The run game, though, it's an interesting one because I do agree. A lot of it is the offensive line not being as dominant in terms of like him being contacted, but I also think it's really predictable, right? Yeah. And where they got the unpredictability, it's a shotgun-based run game. So in the past, where they got the unpredictability was defenses having to account for Hurts as a keeper. And you get a numbers advantage that way. So you're not winning with misdirection, you're winning because of that. But I don't see defenses fearing him on the ground the same way. And I think that's part of it as well. And as a play caller, Kevin Patullo has to like accept that and figure out a way to create some sort of conflict on the part of defenders, because right now they're just teeing off.
Yeah. I think the predictability, mark it down.
What just happened?
One mistake. I just couldn't pronounce predictability.
Just buffered for a second.
All right. Well, my internet's slow. I think the predictability is a problem, but I think that predictability came from last season when it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like we could do whatever the hell we want. But you're right. It's not only that I think defenses aren't fearing Hurts on the ground, is they also aren't running him as much. So like there's like
so maybe that's got to be part of the solution.
Maybe so.
No one's going to mention Carson Wentz revenge game.
Oh,
maybe is it? It's definitely him.
The report this morning was that JJ McCarthy's ankle is improving, but not better enough. So it seems like most likely another Carson Wentz game. You look disgusted by that, Mina.
No. The JJ McCarthy stuff's kind of weird. If they lose to Carson Wentz, the content coming out of Philadelphia is going to be unbelievable.
It's amazing.
So I'm not rooting for any outcome, and I have Eagles in-laws who I want to be happy, but holy smokes.
Is there, I mean, are all return to previous team games revenge games? Because, like, if you win a Super Bowl, you're on a Super Bowl winning roster. Like, I feel like you don't need revenge, right?
Well, they traded him, though.
I
They got rid
know.
of him. That's the revenge.
Oh, so when is it not a revenge game? If you, like, force your
When
way
you
out?
leave on your own accord,
Okay,
yeah, then it's
okay.
not a revenge game.
So
Yeah.
is it a team revenge game now then?
Against Wentz?
Yeah. No, I'm saying when you leave on your own accord, is the team looking to get revenge? Or is it not qualified as a revenge game?
At that point, it's like, yeah, you wish him the best. It's the league's a business, man. You know.
Okay. All right. Well, my good game, Falcons at 49ers. I'm not sure how good the 49ers are going to be or will remain, but this is an opportunity for the Falcons, who I think part of my view of the Falcons is like jaded by the way that I view the Falcons. And it's like, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. Then they disappoint. And I felt like that happened this year. But then when I look back, and I know the 30-point loss to the Panthers is something hard to erase, but like, they have not been that version of the Falcons, that like fake team that's all smoke and mirrors. Like, they have solid defense, and they have established a very effective run game. And Michael Penix is growing. He's not great, but he can convert
this year.
He can convert third and longs, like, and he's comfortable in those situations. So I think all those things together make me feel like maybe we should be, and I know I'm a little late because they're coming off a big Monday night win, but like maybe we should be talking more about the Falcons and having a little bit more respect for them. They barely lost to the Bucs and have some competition in the NFC South. So honestly, more than anything, it's like this 49ers team is depleted by injuries. I know they might be getting Purdy back and might be getting Kittle back, but that's not the part of the side of the ball that I'm worried about. It's that defense. Without Bosa and without Fred Warner, the Falcons should dominate and control this game if they want to be considered a serious outfit. That's why I care about this game.
I asked my podcast listeners for metaphors to describe like the role that Fred Warner was playing in this defense.
I remember. I was on that episode, and you had a very bad analogy.
Yeah.
So I
asked for better. I know. Yeah. And a lot of people said Jenga. He was like the one Jenga. You know, when there's like you're building a Jenga tower and there's like one little piece. That was. Somebody sent me like a very arcane like analogy. It's a joke, and it's a gigantic machine with like very advanced parts, and then there's one tiny part, and it says a project some random person in Nebraska has been thanklessly maintaining since 2003. This feels like an engineering joke or something, but I've been thinking about that ever since I saw it, and what this defense looked like without Fred Warner against Tampa, and it's really concerning, especially against this offense because of all the motion they use in the run game and just the run game in general. I will say, I know I said Jalen Hurts is 32nd in attacking the middle of the field. Guess who's 31st, baby?
Oh,
Michael Penix Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So no. So to me, there's an opportunity here for Penix, right? Because I thought last week he did a better job with that, finding Drake London, pardon me.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them continue building on that in the passing game and continuing to like make it a little bit less predictable.
When I watch Bijan play, or at least when I watch this most recent game, one of the things that stood out is like how versatile Bijan is, and how that it feels like their offense is so much built around the versatility, which makes it exciting to see them match up against Christian McCaffrey, who I think is the same version on the other side. And this team is a blitz-heavy team, and the 49ers are not good against the blitz, so that's a bad matchup there. But if they can survive, the way that they're going to survive is to find a way to get one-on-one matchups with Christian McCaffrey, because that's what really killed the Bills, is that they don't have anybody that's going to make you not want to blitz, or anyone that's going to make you pay big for blitzing. And so I would imagine that Ulbrich and this Falcons defense is looking at the 49ers like, oh, let's do the same thing we did last week.
Yep.
That was something that I found really curious last week, was why the Bills didn't use James Cook more and generally too, but as a pass catching outlet for Josh Allen, right? Because Falcons backers came so often in that game as blitzers, and they're really, really good at it. I thought been an answer, but yeah, I think you're right. It comes down to whether or not they can weaponize CMC that way.
I was wondering that too about that Bills Falcons game, but I mean they don't actually like use James Cook that much on like third down situations. So like it's weird if your best playmaker is like a good old fashioned running back. What do you do in that situation? Screens and checkdowns, but obviously Christian McCaffrey isn't that. But I love seeing the offense of the Falcons and the 49ers because they do focus so much on creating opportunities for their special running backs. It feels kind of rare in modern football. I mean, the only other person that's close to that talented is Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah, I mean.
Thank you for laughing.
I was like, it could be right. No, I'm kidding. No, but Bijan, I mean, like the obvious thing is you just look at the volume statistics. He's on pace for over 1,600 rushing yards and for 1,100 receiving yards, which is insane. That's like, beyond Marshall Faulk type numbers. But no, I mean, I'm really glad you brought up Jeff Ulbrich in the defense because that's one of the things I thought was so interesting. It was really cool to see how they used Diablo last week. And I think that we have been maybe anchored too much to the result against the Panthers, which is in that 30-0 game really threw us off the scent that by the end of this year, this defense might be really, really good because they've allowed under. Yeah. The Thurs, not that bad, but they've allowed under 300 yards in 5 of their 6 games this year. So like they are playing good ball.
Thurs?
Yeah, don't ignore it.
Can't let that slide.
He's been trying to get it off the ground around here for a while. This is the first time he brought it out in public, and it disgusts me.
I guess it's better than the Panthers.
Nope, I prefer Panthers better. Panthers does sound like a nasty person with a lisp. Like you trying to get freaky, you got a lisp on. I got on my finest Panthers.
Maybe there's like Panthers underwear. Did we just come up with a business idea? Panthers?
We came up with a $3 business idea. We can sell 1 pair of Panthers to Charlie.
So you guys are good with the Thurs now? Now you're good with the Thurs?
Oh, gosh.
That was
big,
Thurs Falcons was the Thurs trap.
No. Stop.
Nope.
No.
It doesn't even make sense.
No, don't laugh. Don't smile. Don't laugh.
It would have been funny if you said it. I'll just say it.
It wouldn't have been.
No. Left.
No. I mean, I might have delivered it better. I might have
Pablo-esque.
delivered it. Well, not. Yeah, it was. Might have delivered it while not laughing.
That was mean. It's really low.
Blow.
All right, my good game, and I've just lost all confidence, is Bucs Lions. This is really simple. I think this is just like a game of really aesthetically appealing offenses, and what Baker's done, extending plays and being a playmaker, obviously has catapulted him to third MVP odds behind Mahomes and Allen. And I think that he's the people's MVP right now. It's being talked about on every broadcast and every Sunday. And on the other side of it, it's just even though they got outplayed by the Chiefs, it's really fun to see the Lions offense operate when it's at full strength with Jared Goff and those playmakers. So I think that's it's a Monday night game. I think it's very easy. This will be a very easy cap on a football week to watch 2 teams like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I think of these 2 teams, it's going to be interesting because it feels like it'll be decided by either offense, but they offense in very different ways. And I know that the Bucs are good at running the ball, especially when Bucky Irvin is healthy. But my anticipation in this particular matchup, especially given the injuries and the suspensions in the Lions secondary, is that Baker and his rowdy group of backup receivers are going to look to air it out, double team Aiden Hutchinson, and feast in the back end, because Baker is, the way that he's throwing the ball right now, picking apart the zone coverages of advanced defenses that are much more healthy than this one, suggests that he's looking at this one. If they don't get pressure on him, which they don't get a ton of pressure, if they don't get pressure on him, I expect Baker to have his way in the passing game. And then on the other side, the question is, can the Lions run the ball effectively enough to keep up, in my view?
So I find that really interesting, that the Lions matchup here in the play caller, because the Bucs have a really, really good run defense, and their pass defense is weak in the areas where Detroit is strong, right? Play action, throw in the middle of the field, attacking the backers, those intermediate throws. So I think for John Morton, who I think like has done a good job. I know the Chiefs game, there's like a few plays probably like to have back, but for the most part, I think he's been a pretty good game planner. I think game planning is big. Like the Bucs defense is good, right?
Yeah.
But the Lions offense should be better through the air. On the ground, I think they're going to have to be judicious about running the ball on early downs and the types of runs that they lean into. Tampa, it's kind of like, how long can they keep this going, right? Like, I don't think Igbuka's going to play in this, it looks like. They've been able to sustain so far, but, you know, the Lions defense is injured. Brian Branch is also not playing in this game, so I think that they'll have success moving the ball through the air even with their injuries, but it definitely feels like a war of attrition on that side of the ball on both sides.
Yeah, the Lions passing game is largely play action based, and they're great. They're among the best, probably the best in football at play action. The Bucs are not very good on defense against play action, and they are very good at stopping the run, which I guess I haven't looked at the numbers, but they probably are majoring a lot more single high on early downs and choose that combined with Vita Vea to stop the run and put themselves in position. So, which I guess that's why I'm more concerned about how soon, or if at all, the Bucs can pull them out of their running game and not feel as though if they can score quickly enough to force them to throw, or if they can stop the run consistently enough early in downs, that they do not have to compromise their second and their back end to get aggressive to slow down this running attack. I think that'll decide the game. I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop Baker and the Bucs from scoring, even though their O-line's not all the way back and they don't have any receivers. I mean, we've seen the concept proven over and over again. He's going to find a way to score.
Have you guys seen any decline? I know it's been mentioned from some people online who've looked at the tape of it a little bit, like a slight decline of Levante David this year. Is that something that could be picked on by Gibbs or stuff in the middle of the
coverage,
field?
yeah. The other guy, Dennis, is the one I would throw at too, though. The other backer. Really quickly, I checked this because it felt right in my brain. The Bucs defense is first league-wide in EPA per play versus outside zone.
Ooh,
First
speed.
best defense in the NFL. So,
Speed.
yeah, I was talking about. I was like, I bet they are. So, I again with Detroit, it's like you really. The thing about Detroit too is kind of fun to watch their run game because they have two different backs who do two different things, and you know. I think they're pretty good at they have a pretty good feel for like, okay, let's not just, over lean on Jahmyr Gibbs if it's not working in this one. And I think it actually might not work in this one. So they might have to find other ways through the air.
This is a little bit of a non sequitur, but I was thinking about this earlier and how if I were the Eagles, I would go watch the Rams tape and copy it. I actually changed that. I think they need to go watch the Falcons tape and copy it because the ways that they line up in shotgun and motion Bijan back into like a pistol and like the ways that they find to create similar running schemes that are easy enough for them to learn but compromise the defense, and also motioning and shifting to like force you into the wrong front, like an over front or like those type of things are like second level stuff that I know we're not talking about the Eagles now, but it was just going through my mind as we were talking about this game and how the Falcons found ways to get Bijan involved. And it's not even that you have to find ways to get Saquon involved. It's just ways to keep the defense on their toes so they can't lock in on this is what we're doing and create angles and advantages for your offense. Charlie hates when I do non sequiturs. Sorry.
No, I was just for a second I thought you were talking about the Lions, and
nope.
then it was the Eagles. And I was like,
it was confusing us. All right, we got smart listeners. They can keep up.
It's interesting too, Dominique, how they're getting to like some of the play action stuff. I noticed that this last week because the Lions run very like standard hard under center play action. The Falcons don't put Michael Penix under center at all, but like I think the big play early in the game against the Bills, because we knew the Bills defense struggles with play action, so I was interested in seeing how they're going to get to it. It was like they had Bijan in the gun and he faked like a little sweep handoff, right, and it pulled the Bills defense, and then there was a guy wide open. I can't remember who it was, but like they're finding ways to create misdirection with him without any under center dropbacks, which I find really interesting.
And they did that sweep play, the one that they faked. They did it earlier where they shifted. So they shifted. They shifted the tight end over, then motioned the U back over to the left side, like resetting the formation, had Bijan lined up in the slot, and he did like an orbit motion into that sweep play, and it worked for a big play. But yeah, doing that stuff, finding creative ways to do these things, and I think we don't appreciate that the motions and shifts look pretty, but they're for a reason, or they should be for a reason. I think we throw out there, this team's got to motion more. Like, no, you don't have to motion more. You got to shift more. Like, you don't have to. Like, you have to do it for a reason to create the advantage that you want.
You know who would really help against this stuff?
What?
Fred Warner. Sorry, we're talking about a different game.
Yeah.
No. We're talking about a bunch of games.
Are we still talking about Bucs Lions?
We're talking about football.
No,
Charlie.
I was thinking back to the Falcons when he was talking about all the stuff Bijan does. And
Yeah.
It's hard not to get distracted when you talk about Bijan.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, if you want to just close on the Bucs Lions game, it's interesting because that's Raheem Morris said that they built a lot of their stuff around what the Lions do for their roster and how similar some of the build was. So there, we tied it all back together. Mina, what's your good bad game?
I went with Raiders Chiefs. It's really not a good game in any way, but the Chiefs offense has Rashid Rice back and is now a fully operational battle station, and I just think it's going to look disgusting in a good way for Chiefs fans. Disgusting for everyone else.
Right.
Like the fact they're already third in success rate and fifth in EPA per play without him, even after those stinkers at the beginning of the year, and now you're adding a receiver who, back when his rookie season, second half of the year, led all receivers in yards after the catch. It's like, I don't know. I just think it's the beginning of something very unpleasant for the league.
Yeah, they have all their weapons, and it seems like Xavier Worthy has taken a bit of a step forward in some ways, or at least they're focused on him in a way that is pretty effective. I guess they don't have Josh Simmons back yet, right? He's the tackle.
It's a personal matter. I think it's unclear.
Okay, all right. Well, that would help too to have him back. But yeah, I think I'm excited about this game only because the Chiefs are fun again. Like, that's all I want from this game is the Chiefs to be fun. Brock Bowers isn't playing, right? So that ruins the fun there on the other side for that incredibly athletic tight end for the Raiders.
I'm with Mina on this. There's so much. This is just we've been waiting for the Chiefs offense to look fun again, and this is like we're going to be 30 minutes into this game, and if you open up your Twitter, there's going to be all these tweets that are going to be like asterisk whisper : Patrick has always been QB number one because QB one. We've been waiting for this offense to look explosive and fun again, and it's the closest to the way that it's supposed to look that it hasn't looked since 2022.
I think I posted like a couple years ago that astronaut meme. I got to just find it so I can reuse it for that moment. The always has been meme for Patrick Mahomes. I have it saved somewhere. Listeners, if you can find it, please send it to me.
Back to the meme file.
No.
The
see if I can find it.
Patrick Mahomes is pretty good at football, guys. Someone should tell him that he has his weapons back, because if you notice, early in the season, I pointed out there were 3 times in 3 different games where he tried to run people over. He's still doing it.
Yeah,
he did it.
But now
last
he's
week
smiling. You're waiting for him to smile.
He did smile. We got a smile. What game was it? It was it was before the Lions game. We got a smile the week before the Lions game. But he's still trying to run people over. Like, please stop it. He got hurt on a QB sneak. Don't start running people over and getting injured. But yeah, I don't think there's much to analyze on this game. How much time Pete Carroll has left to be with a bad franchise. Like, I assume the idea when you hire Pete Carroll is like, we're going to be competitive now. It seemed like they behave that way. Yeah. They are not competitive now.
What's your good bad game, Domonique?
My good bad game is Packers Cardinals. I think some of this stuff is starting to settle down, but we got super high on the Packers and then got super low on the Packers. And when I look at their stats so far in the season and then watch them play, like, I think they're actually like really gonna be really good and getting close to being really good.
And this is the stat that's highlighted in our document that the Packers are the only team in the NFL to hold a double-digit lead in every single game this season, and their biggest deficit this year has been 3 points. So like they're really good.
Yeah. I think the stats that I was looking at was about their pressure numbers, their pass rush win rate. Like, those sorts of numbers are much higher than they were last year, and that was the only problem that they had on their defense last year. But the sacks aren't commiserate with the like ratio that you would expect for this amount of pressure or pass rush wins, and the turnovers also are not consistent with what you would expect for a defense of this level. So these games that I've been looking at the scores and be like, man, Packers should really do better than that. Like, I'm not sure that they're going to stay that way. And you see, like, Jordan Love has this ability to convert on 3rd and longs. That's like, it's a thing. Like, it's with athleticism or arm strength. Like, when you have a team, when you shut a team down on 1st and 2nd down and you're at like 3rd and 8, we feel like we won. If you're in a situation where those drives can stay alive, what they've consistently kept drives going that shouldn't have, like, those type of things are I think, to me, signs of a good team that won't put themselves in that position that much, but when they're in that position, they can succeed.
They should be like better than they are. It was just weird to say about a team that's like really well coached on both sides of the ball, but I think this is a small sample size issue, right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of new players as well. Like, not a lot of new players, but like they're, to me, like, it's so weird because sometimes you watch them and you're like, this is so clearly the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then the defense is kind of bad in the 4th quarter, and the offense will have a weird 3 and out, and they can't really run the ball as well, and it's confusing. But I do think they're going to put it all together. And you know, I also think in this particular game, Jacoby Brissett's probably going to come back to earth a little bit against this defense. So yeah, I think Green Bay will win.
It was nice seeing the Cardinals offense play on time with Jacoby Brissett. I'll just say it. I'll put it that way.
No, it seems like you're not the only one who thinks that. Yeah, it feels like.
I floated a take, Domonique. I want to hear what you think about this. That Jacoby Brissett is a better fit for this scheme, and that Kyler Murray is going to be the next Baker Mayfield in like 5 years. Like, they're going to part ways with him, and he's going to be bad or whatever. And then in 5 years, he's going to like land with a different team and be older and be a little bit, you know, better at some of the quarterbacky side of things. And then he's going to be awesome again.
It's a great take, and I appreciate that you found a landing spot for your brother. That you weren't going to say that you are not going to say that this is a bad fit for him, period. You're like, it's a bad fit for him. However, he's going to go somewhere else and win an MVP.
Couldn't you see that happening, though? Because he's so talented. He's just so inconsistent.
He is really, really talented. And, yeah, you said that a better fit, which is just, to your point, which is funny to have this for Jacoby Brissett, but there aren't a lot of offenses that I think are a great fit for someone like Kyler Murray, who's like unique in his size and incredibly gifted athletically. Like, I'm trying to think of where the system is I could think of a couple places. I can think of one place in particular that would be much better with Kyler Murray, but generally there aren't a ton of places that you're like.
What was your spot?
Miami.
Oh yeah, Miami. That's what I was thinking. Miami.
You think Philly? Was that what you?
I mean,
He doesn't want to get in trouble.
A run game. I don't feel like fighting with the Eagles fans again. They're so down.
Headline: Domonique Foxworth says the Eagles would be better with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray running the tush push, please.
No, he's getting Saquon's throwing him over the line. The Mike Leach special.
Oh gosh,
the tush toss.
Scored him through underneath. Nobody sees it.
Can we talk about Jonathan Yannon's press conferences?
Oh yeah, he's on.
Obviously, he had the dope as hell line, and then this week, when did you learn to take emotion out of coaching? And he just, in 2007, when our quarterback went to jail, and just gets up and walks off the stage. He has the belt now of like most iconic press conference guy, right?
Performance art.
What was the line of questions? Because I saw the take emotion out of football thing, which I thought was an ironic thing for him to be saying that he takes emotion out of football a week after he lost control of his emotions and slapped his running back. Like, what was the line of questions that led to him presenting himself as a motionless football robot? No one knows. We just thought it was funny that he said
it was dope as hell
that Mike Vick got arrested. Oh man! Yeah. What else did he do? Oh yeah, he lied or he
pew explosives.
Oh gosh, yeah.
How was the team coming together after that? Dope as hell, all that stuff. Yeah,
he's fun. I mean, the defense is the heart and soul is a stretch, but like the defense, I think, is the driving force of anything that is consistent and good with that particular team. Which, like, I'm sure. Like, he takes a great deal of pride in figuring out how to stabilize that offense with, Marvin Harrison's going to be out, I assume.
This week, yeah. Yeah, most likely out this week.
Concussion protocol stuff. And Kyler, we don't know if he's back or not, but we don't know if that's a good thing or not. So there are a lot of questions, I think, around that team, but I'm just more interested in watching the Packers. And it's fun watching Michael Parsons, even though he hasn't gone crazy on sacks. Like, watching him when they put him in the middle.
He wins every rep.
Take him off the ball, just let him roam. Like, it's fun to watch him just be a super athlete.
Yeah. All right, my good bad game is Giants Broncos. The Broncos are really good. The Broncos should dominate this game. This should be the game when Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo come back to earth.
That already happened. Sorry.
I don't. They had a bad half against the Saints, but
sorry, just like nobody watched that game or something.
Nah,
we're memory holing it.
No,
we're memory holing it.
No, Mina.
Sorry.
No one watched Giants versus Saints, Mina. No, we did not.
They're missing the rat man.
Yeah.
But what happens if they cook this week? What happens if they cook against Defensive Player of the Year candidates all over the Broncos defense, and we have a bunch more backflips and funny little TikTok dances from Jackson Dart?
I'm gonna need you to give some sort of.
There's no analysis. It's just a what if it happens.
I mean, I'm sure you can work your way into reasoning how it could work out. I mean, it's not completely insane.
I know you're making fun of Charlie, but that was an actual question on First Take. Let me find it.
Let's go.
The question was, okay, what would it mean if the Giants actually beat the Broncos? Mina response. I don't think it's going to happen, so I don't know.
I mean,
we didn't do it, Charlie.
Yeah,
it wasn't a topic.
It wouldn't mean anything.
The unmitigated gall of you two. The sanctimonious response.
There's no
to my good bad game.
I love it. I just wanted you to concoct some sort of argument.
The argument is what if Bo Nix, who's been bad in 3/4 of games multiple times this year, gives the ball a couple of short fields.
Do it.
The Giants get up in that game. They get up by 10, and then the pass rush starts to heat them up. It starts to heat them up. We got some 3 and outs, and then they run the damn ball.
They're in
Those
the NFL.
two.
Anything could happen. Obviously, they could beat them. I think. To be fair to Jackson Dart, I know he had his back to earth moment in that Saints game, but he played better than I think the stats showed in that Eagles game. Like that, I thought his ball placement was better than I anticipated or expected. Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't want to get too like out over my skis, but I felt like in the early games it was like Jackson Dart's rushing attack. And of course, in that last game against the Eagles, it was very important, but I didn't have much appreciation for how well he threw the ball. I thought he threw the ball incredibly well in that Eagles game. And if he can do that again, which obviously is very hard to do against the Broncos defense.
And the Broncos have scored under 21 points in 4 of their 6 games. Yeah. Can the Giants get to 21? Can the pass rush get going? There's your little concocted fake.
Thank you.
I do have to ask you.
Just fake it for me.
I have to ask you.
All right.
If you're Abdul Carter and you're clearly the best rookie on the team, is any of this a tiny bit annoying?
Is he clearly the best rookie on the team?
I mean, he's played
Even
football. Yeah, he's played football his whole life. He's probably been the best player on every team, and he knows that the quarterback gets more attention.
I'll say it. I think Cam Scatterby was like a legitimately great running back.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's so
I know it's like, and I hate meme players. I don't hate them, but I get like when players turn into memes, I'm always like, oh God, are we actually like talking about this guy because he's good at football or because he's a meme? He's really good at football. He's a really, really like good back.
We've been having this conversation for a couple of weeks about like how my mind is blown not only by how good he is at football, but also like how as a rookie he can hold this particular space as like obviously like a team leader who to some degree is defining culture on this team. It feels like not in the locker room, obviously, but like the things that he's doing is like super surprising that normally we're right when we say those things don't translate from college to the NFL, but they're translating for him.
What like the leadership stuff?
No, his running style.
Yeah,
I mean,
but there's some stuff that I did think it was going to translate. He was a really good pass catcher at Arizona State. Things like he's more versatile despite like his build. Like it's surprising. It's sort of surprising.
Viewing him as a piece was reasonable. Viewing him as a feature back is the part that is shocking to me. Yeah. I don't think we can go back and talk about or see how we talked about him back then, but I don't think anybody was like, man, you get Cam Scatterbo and you can.
No, I mean he's a 4th round pick and he didn't run that fast, but it's also like I mean, I don't know. It's so funny. They're sliding doors with that stuff. Like he was the best player in the college football playoff, and they got absolutely robbed in a game. And it's like if they beat Texas and they go further in this, how does that shape our perspective on that stuff coming out of it? Because, that if they win that game, it was already heroic what he did. Where he's throwing up, he's catching the passes, he's throwing touchdowns, he's dragging that team back to relevance. And they got robbed. And if he does that 2 more times, he's probably getting picked in the second or first round. If we're being honest.
And then he wouldn't be in New York, and he wouldn't be a meme player who's also good.
Did you see speaking of the meme part of it, I think I've talked to you about this. Mina, did you see the Demario Davis mic'd up about Cam Scadaboo?
No. What did he say?
He was like, he plays football like the bad kid at a youth football camp, like the badly behaved kid. And he's like, there's always one kid who you put shoulder pads and a helmet on, and they just immediately start launching their head into people, and you have to like pick them up and put them in a separate group and timeout. And like I've coached it, I did those youth camps. It was the most accurate definition. There is a tiny Cam Scadaboo at every 10 and under football camp.
Yeah, unfortunately, the flag team that I used to coach had a couple of those guys, which doesn't work in flag. But hey, just bloody opponents all the time.
You see them line up and their eyes get really big right before you're like, where did this crazy come
I had
from?
one kid who was a great athlete, and he refused to stay on his feet. And like in flag football, it's kind of a rule. Like you can't dive to pull flags. You can't dive to catch balls because you'll run into people. Every time I'm like, all right, you're going in. Do not dive. You don't have to dive. You're quicker than everybody. Don't dive. Couldn't help it. He just got out there and started diving across the goal line, diving at people's flags.
It's so funny.
Can't take away a player's instincts like that, Dominique.
Mina, how you feeling about the Mariners?
I'm nervous, man. We got Castillo. Well, this is gonna hit tomorrow, so I can't really give game analysis.
Well, we're taping this.
Okay.
It's 2-1 Seattle, but last night I think thought after the first inning we thought it might go differently, and bats are hot in Toronto now.
13 runs. A lot of runs. You guys have a position player pitching or something? What the hell?
They just, after Kirby got racked, they just, punted on it. Because they don't want to waste, real, our best
Way
pitchers.
to go, Charlie.
Today is because...
We had a happy Mina. You just it up.
I'm rooting for the Blue Jays.
We're at the end of the show now, so it's fine.
Let's go Jays.
It's fine to ruin Mina's mood, but I was about to make some jokes, and I was like, she's not in a jokey mood. Not talking about her Mariners.
4 for 4 with the bink from Vladdy Jr. in Game 3.
These stupid slangs. 4 for 4 with a bink. Bink.
You know what it is.
Vladdy doesn't even, it's just longer.
What?
Calling him Vladdy doesn't make any sense. It's just making his name longer.
There you go.
He goes by, you tell him that then.
Charlie loves to put Y's on things. When Charlie gets mad, he calls it a Tempe T.
It is, yeah. Sometimes I have some Tempe T's, Mina.
All right, let's pick our game.
All right. We have the Survivor pool. I don't have a sicko game of the week. There's a lot of there's not an obvious oh, you got to be a football sicko. There's a meatball game of the week, which is Commanders Cowboys, which is going to be my fun game of that. Where I don't know what the over is, but smash it. Those defenses are not going to play fast. But Mina, what's your Survivor pick this week?
Who'd you pick?
So who did I pick last week? Yeah, run
Mina's she's doing well. It's the document's loading.
Am I 6-0 now or 6-0? Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable.
A lot of game left though. You picked the Broncos last week, so you picked the Broncos, Lions, Texans, Bucs, Rams, and Steelers.
Broncos, Lions, Texans, Bucs, Rams, and Steelers. Okay.
Oh.
Broncos, Lions.
Patriots, Titans looking tasty.
I know. I am looking at that one. I am looking at that. Lions.
Chiefs, Raiders looking good.
So I would take either the Chiefs.
Packers, Cards.
All right. Relax.
I'm doing this for me too. Who do we have left, Charlie? Did we win last week?
We won last week.
All
We're
right.
3-3. We're straight back to 500.
Oh, that was my first week picking, I'll say.
I'll take the Broncos here.
We're team, Dominic. You took the Broncos last week, Mina.
Wait. Dominic confused me.
I named a bunch of plays. No, now it's my fault. I named 3 games to choose from.
I'll take the Patriots. Sorry. Mike Vrabel's not losing this game. Come on.
All right. Charlie, who do we want?
You're picking.
Oh, I am? Okay.
We picked the Rams, Colts, Chargers, Packers, Commanders, and Cardinals.
Okay, so I can't choose the
Packers. You picked the Cardinals?
And we won in week 1.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean I thought you meant last week. Sorry.
Right. So we got Seahawks versus Texans. That looks good. What else we got? Eagles, Vikings. I don't want to stay away from that joint. Rams, Jags. No thanks. Dolphins, Browns. No thanks. Chiefs, Raiders. We haven't picked Chiefs yet, have we?
I haven't picked the Chiefs.
Give me that layup.
We just all we need is Mina to come down to earth a little bit because she's not making it through 22 weeks of this.
She might.
The point of Survivor is not to make it through 22 weeks. It's to make it farther than your opponent, which I've already done.
No,
I've cleared the bar to win.
This is not Survivor. This is Pick'em.
Mina, don't make me start the season over and make up an excuse for why we're 0-0.
Thanks so much, Mina. You're the best. Nice haircut. Charlie, appreciate you. Thanks to all the great producers. I love you, Podville. We out.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.